call to order a special meeting of the Frankfurt Plant Board on Tuesday, April 6th. This is a special meeting for the sole purpose of considering some contracts related to the reservoir project. But before we get started, Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Member Hale?
Here.
Member Cuban?
Here.
Member Mason?
Here.
Member Snyder?
Here.
Member Dutton Mitchell?
Here.
We have a quorum. We're prepared to do business. Next item is to approve the minutes from the last board meeting. If everybody's had a chance to review them, is there any corrections, changes that we need to make? If not, do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Without any further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Minutes are adopted. The next item, and I guess David Billings is going to handle this, is to talk about the contract for the reservoir. And I think it's important to point out, obviously, what we had hoped to spend on this project is going to be somewhat higher than we had hoped for. It's a combination of things. I mean, all construction, everything at this point, obviously is extremely expensive. Just an example, I think plywood's gone from like $8 to $32, and some people say it's headed to $40. I think the staff, we took competitive bids. We extended the bidding to get more bids in. I don't think there's any reason to think that delaying it, both from a public safety standpoint and from pricing, that anything will change. But I'll turn it over to David Billings at this point and let him explain and discuss it. David?
Good morning, board. I hope everybody's enjoying this beautiful weather, and hopefully we can get through these two agenda items fairly quickly.
No, we were hoping to break for lunch and then come back about 3.
Well, we can do that too.
Yeah.
So, at the January meeting, the board approved the construction plans and directed staff to advertise the project. Invitations to bid were publicly advertised on February 21st and again on March 9th. We were hoping to get 3 bids, but on March 19th, we received 2 bids, one from Smith Contractors in the amount of $7.089 million, and the other one from Judy Construction Company in the amount of $8.244 million. Smith Contractors has worked previously with Strand on projects for Lexington Fayette Urban County government, who they determined that Smith Contractors were responsible. Additionally, staff evaluated Smith's qualifications and checked references, all of which spoke favorably of Smith Contractors. Staff recommends the board award the bid to Smith Contractors in the amount of $7.089 million and authorize the board chair to execute related contract documents. The water department budgeted a combined $5 million in the FY21 and 22 budgets for construction of the project. Upon completing the design, Strand provided an updated construction cost estimate of $7.3 million to reflect the recent market prices that you mentioned, Mr. Cuban. The upcoming FY22 budget will include $7.45 million for the project. That number includes a 5% contingency. I have Adam Weber with Strand on the line, and we'll be happy to entertain any questions.
And is this a good point? I know we got Adam on, and David, is David Denton on with us?
Yes, Mr. Cube, I'm here.
See if Adam's got any questions if we've got any questions for Adam. You want to talk a little about the financing and where we're at and what this does to our plans and how we proceed?
Sure, I'd be happy to. In our current budget, our 2021 fiscal year budget, for those watching, you can go out to our website under the documents section and find that. We had planned on using cash reserves that are currently held by the water division and doing an internal loan to the water, they're held by electric division, internal loan to the water division of about $4.5 million. So that was going to be the amount borrowed. The rest of the project, the $5 million David mentioned in the budget, would be covered by water's regular budget. If this goes through, we were assuming an additional $2 million. If the electric division can handle it, which we're working on our current budget, and we'll feel better about making a statement on that in the next 4 to 6 weeks. But assuming we can internally cover the remaining $2 2 million additional. That is about a $77,000 increase in the annual payment. So we believe that we can financially take on the additional funding. If for some reason, when we get to the budget process and feel like that it is too much to have an internal loan of that amount from electric to water, we would look at going out on the bond market to do electric and water revenue bonds for that additional 2 million, which would be, we can cross that bridge when we get there. So I do feel like financially we have enough to get down the road on this project before we have to make a decision on the additional funding. And I don't see any reason not to move forward from a budgeting standpoint.
Okay. Any questions for Strand or any questions for David Denton from any of the board members? Okay.
John, excuse
Yeah,
me.
John.
I'm sorry. David, I know at one time before the delays, we were lined up with KIA to get some loan money on this. Well, is that correct?
That is correct. We were approved for a $4 million low interest 20-year loan.
Okay. Is that still if we find ourselves short on this, is that something that we can go back into? And does that have anything with the recent, with the recent federal stimulus and Federal Recovery Act? Is there any of those monies there? Would we be able to take advantage of that? Would that be where we would probably go if we use the extra $2 million?
I think the existing KIA fund loan is water under the bridge.
Okay.
In the last request for funding, that it was showed that project as being passed over.
Okay.
Now, to your second question about the recent stimulus money,
Right. Mm-hmm.
all those details are being hammered out.
Okay.
We expect it to take KIA several months to promulgate the details. Okay. And a lot of us in the industry are expecting it will include prevailing wage rates as well as Buy American requirements. Some of the previous projects have been done that way. We don't have those in the specifications on this project. So I don't think it will.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions for David or for Strand? Okay, and this, as I understand, one of the reasons we're having David this special meeting is this allows us to keep on track with our schedule in terms of the reservoir replacement construction. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. We're a little bit behind Division of Water. It took longer to get approval from them, which delayed advertising. And then we extended the advertisement date a week to hopefully get a third bid. So I didn't want to wait till the regular April board meeting. We need to get this project undergoing and give the contractor the most amount of time he can to meet his deadlines. Okay.
Okay. Seeing no other discussion, do I have a motion to approve the contract?
It's
So moved.
Do we have a second?
A second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed? Contract's approved. Second item, you're going to handle that one, David?
yes, sir. I have a question about the first item.
Okay.
Should the motion be, and I'm not an attorney, but should the motion be to award it and then follow up with executing the contract?
Hans, are you on?
I think approval of the contract is fine, but David, if that gives you, if that makes you and Adam, puts you in better language for the contractor, that's fine. That's fine too.
Well, David, John, you want to go back? Would you mind amending your motion to award?
Absolutely, Mr. Chairman. Absolutely, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to recommend that we award bid number 1710 regarding the water storage improvement project to Smith Contractors and direct staff and the chair to execute all the necessary contracts with Smith Contractors to effectuate construction.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, those opposed? contracts awarded and will be executed. Mr. Billings, next item.
Yes, sir. Stantec has been our geotechnical services and been involved with the reservoir since the beginning. Now that we're moving into the construction phase, we will need additional geotechnical services for various items, such as observations on suitable bearing surfaces, materials testing, and compaction testing. As such, we requested a scope of services built on a time and materials basis. The water department budgeted a combined $350,000 in the FY 21-22 budgets for engineering related to the project, and the upcoming budget will include $276,725 for the project, which includes a 5% contingency for engineering as well. Staff recommends that the board approve the authorization for additional services for a not to exceed amount of $25,000.
Any discussions of David regarding this?
I have a question. So
Sure.
the original 350, so this is an addition, these are additional services, this is an additional budget amount.
No, we had in some of the engineering services has already been spent. The geotechnical additional services were estimated prior to, but will be included. So I don't think it's an additional amount. I'd have to see exactly how much has been rolled over. I think we had $175,000 in across 2 years. And I think what I'm asking for is less money over the next 2 years.
Okay, that's what I was hoping.
Well, see, David Denton, there's your money to pay for this extra reservoir cost right there.
Yes, sir. Every day we've got good news.
You can't, David Billings comes through, doesn't he? So did we have a motion and second? I think we did, didn't we? On the contract on Stantec? Before you asked your question, Catherine, did we already have a motion or?
No, sir.
If not, do we have a motion on the contract?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any further discussion? Not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Contract is awarded and approved. So do we have any other business related to this topic to come before us today?
I don't have any.
Okay, and this would be all we could talk about today. Gary, is there anything else on this project you need to say, or David Denton? Are you board member? Okay, if not.
I think, Mr. Cuban, the only thing I would state is when we're talking about an internal loan is that we have got rates set appropriately for the water division to be able to repay this back. So something we really work on is to eliminate cross subsidization between the two divisions. So that's just something worth noting, that rates are going to be set appropriately for water to be able to repay any loans internally back to the division from which they came. So I just want to make that clear.
Right. And that's been the way we're doing everything in it, the fiber, AMI, all that. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. We want people that have whatever service they pay for, they pay the rate needed to sustain that service. So.
Okay.
I have one quick question. Do we know when we're actually going to do the first shovel of the construction starting? Just so the Tanglewood neighborhood would know that.
Adam, you want to weigh in on that? It's a guess at this point, and I'll tell you why. We're going to send a letter to the contractor saying that the board awarded the project, give them 2 or 3 weeks to execute the contract on their end, send back insurance certificates. There's always a back and forth. And then after they get that back to us, we'll have to execute the contract, and we'll send a notice to proceed. All these are soft dates. The contract doesn't start until the notice to proceed is sent. But Adam, do you have a better feeling?
No, I think you hit it there, David. I think our overall goal, and probably contractors as well, and I'm just guessing on this, but we're hoping to be breaking ground hopefully early May. You know, as long as we can get all this contract stuff worked out, and they've already submitted insurance certificates and endorsements, so we've already got we're already ahead of the game at that point.
Okay. Did I answer your question, Don?
Yeah, thanks. And if you can
Okay.
just let me or the neighborhood know, just to give them a heads up, I think, when we actually are going to start construction, that'd probably be helpful for them.
We'll be having a meeting with them and we can get some sort of schedule from them and then we'll let the board know.
Great. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. If there's no further business, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Do we have, y'all don't want to adjourn? You want to just keep going? Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, a motion and a second. Anybody object to adjourning? All those in favor say aye.
Bye.
Those opposed, no. We're adjourned. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you all.
Thank
See you in
you.
2 weeks.